Hey everyone, it's Carolyn. Welcome to my channel. Today I have another fun video for you. Today I'm going to help you understand tarot a little bit better by linking it to the Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So those of you who are new to the channel, I help you understand tarot by linking it to pop culture. So I take different musicals, TV shows, and movies, and I relate the tarot cards to the characters or the scenes in it so you can help understand the meaning of the card. And so if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I would love to have you here. And I also post new videos every single week. I do more educational videos like this, but I also post fun videos that is more reaction based, along with other readings that I do. So I do collective readings, past life readings, and pick a pile readings to help you on your spiritual journeys. And if you're interested in watching any of my previous videos, I'm going to have a couple of them linked in the cards above that you can watch after this. So because I'm using the original Dr. Seuss How the Grinch Stole Christmas movie, it's a little bit shorter. So instead of having specific characters that I'm going to be explaining the cards with, and instead of following a specific suit, I decided to just take away the key characters and the key moments of the movies and relate them to the tarot cards all throughout all the major arcana and the minor arcana. So first we need to talk about the Grinch. So I think that the Grinch embodies the energy of the Knight of Swords. And the reason that I say this is, yes, he's grumpy, but besides that, he's really goal-oriented. He's focused on removing Christmas from the Who's because he doesn't want to hear their noise.
There's one thing I hate. All the noise.
And while he's focused on the skull, he faces some problems that he has to solve.
Then he got an idea.
And so the Knight of Swords, swords represents the mind and the intellect. And the Grinch is someone who's very smart, very wise, he's very quick-witted. And so he's able to solve these problems very quickly. And so he really has this energy of the Knight of Swords because he has this determination with this intellect in order to make it possible, in which he doesn't have the plan thought through all the way. He's winging it as he goes, but he's smart enough to be able to do so. He's not just winging it and being impulsive and waiting for things to happen. He's problem solving as he goes ahead and moves forward. And so we see the Grinch embody this energy throughout the movie. But one of the most important scenes where he displays this energy is when Cindy Lou sees him.
Why are you taking our Christmas tree?
But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought of a lie, but he thought he was... My sweet little tot. There's a light on this tree. There won't be light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll be back here. And he's fit fool, child.
He's able to think quickly on his feet to come up with a lie as to why he's in her house and why he's stealing the tree. And he does it so effortlessly that she doesn't suspect him of doing anything wrong. Another thing to note about the Knight of Swords energy is they can be a bit narrow-minded. And so while they have their goal in mind and they are able to solve problems that arise that prevent them from achieving it, they're so focused on their goal that they don't think of other perspectives, and they're not really focused on things that are going on outside of the problem itself. So we see this with the Grinch. He's so determined to remove Christmas because he doesn't want the noise, and he never stops and thinks for a minute that maybe without Christmas they still will continue that noise. So you kind of see this one-track mindset on how to go about things and achieve this goal without giving it much thought outside of it. That's why it's the Knight and it's not the King of Swords, because it's not fully developed. There's the intellect there, but it still needs to be broadened to cover all the bases. So next up we have Cindy Lou. And so I think Cindy Lou embodies the energy of judgment. Now the thing about judgment, this card does not mean that it's someone going out and judging things, and it doesn't even mean that it's judging energy around you. Judgment represents an opportunity to evaluate things. Judgment is the energy of reflection, of looking inward and seeing the situation and seeing the truth of the matter. And so Cindy Lou represents this energy because she's not going out there to judge the Grinch. She's posing the opportunity for him to reflect on himself. She simply asks why.
Why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
She wants to know why he's taking the tree. This is a moment where he could realize the error of his ways. He has a moment in which he has to evaluate what he's doing and realize if he's going to follow through with it now that he's been caught, or if he's going to double down on the lie.
Thought of a lie, but he thought he was...
And he chooses to lie. But Cindy Lou represents the energy of judgment, because in that moment, when he chooses to lie, he has to come to the truth of the matter of what his motivation is. He's fully understanding why he's doing this because of that moment where he's able to reflect in the midst of things and actually understand his consequences. And so when judgment appears in your tarot readings, it's not always representing that judgment is coming from others. It's representing an energy of the truth is going to be revealed. You're going to have an understanding of the situation, regardless of how you then choose to act on the situation. And I couldn't have a whole video on How the Grinch Stole Christmas and not bring up Max. He's one of my favorite characters. I think he's so cute. And so Max represents the energy of the Chariot. And the reason I say this is because as much as I love Max, he is an enabler to the Grinch and his plans. While we have moments in which Max looks like he doesn't want to go through with something, he still always ultimately does, and he allows the Grinch to execute on his plan. And so the Chariot energy in tarot is an energy of moving forward. It's this momentum that's pushing you on your course, onto the direction you need to go. And it's almost like this steering direction in your life. And that's what Max is to the Grinch. He quite literally steers the sled, but he also embodies the energy of enabling the Grinch to follow through with his plans, because he ultimately is the reason that the Grinch solves a lot of his problems. He's that spark of that idea, whether it's intentional or not. He is that driving force forward every step of the way. He is that momentum that the Grinch is able to use in order to actually achieve his goal. And now, getting into the scenes that I want to reference from this movie, I'm going to start with the Who's getting ready for Christmas. So as the Grinch is talking about it, and in the clips that we see, the Who's go all out for Christmas. They're very eccentric and they're down to have a fun time. It looks very entertaining. And so it's really this energy of a celebration. It's fun, it's lighthearted. And this embodies the energy of the Three of Cups, because the Three of Cups represents an energy of celebration, having fun, socializing, going out. And so it really embodies the celebratory aspect of the holidays. It doesn't represent the milestones of them, but it represents the getting togetherness of them. And that really represents the Who's as a whole. They really get together, they know how to have a good time for themselves, and that's ultimately why the Grinch hates them so much, because the Three of Cups, just like the Who's, can be a little bit obnoxious. It can be this very loud energy because you're so focused on your fun, you're so focused on the current excitement in your life that you're not looking at it from another's perspective. And so the Who's really embody the Three of Cups energy, where you're just celebrating, having a good time, and being very carefree. And then you have the act itself, the Grinch stealing Christmas. And so this is obviously the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords represents an energy of betrayal, of sneakiness, of things going on behind your back. And that is quite literally what the Grinch is doing. He's sneaking into all the homes behind everyone's back and stealing everything from them, taking from them, betraying them in a sense. And he's doing this for his own motivation. It has nothing to do with anyone else, and simply to do with his own selfish desires. And with the Seven of Swords, this represents an energy in which people are doing things for their own gain. They don't care about the cost to you. And so when the Seven of Swords is appearing in your reading, it represents an energy in which there's something going on behind the scenes, or someone's doing something behind your back that is going to hurt you, that is going to be painful. And so this card brings awareness to a situation that is not ideal, that is going to be difficult to fully see and understand, because there's so much being hidden from you. And then after the Grinch steals Christmas, the Who's wake up, they see that all the Christmas is gone, but yet they continue to celebrate Christmas because they are all still together. They each have one another. And so this is giving me the energy of the Ten of Cups. And I say this because the Ten of Cups represents this inner peace, this inner harmony, and this emotional fulfillment. And that's what the Who's realize that Christmas is in this moment. They understand it's not about the gifts and everything that people receive and all the food that you have. They understand that it's about everyone's emotional fulfillment from getting together, from having this celebration, and everything else is just extra and added to it. And so when the Ten of Cups is appearing in your reading, it's representing this inner peace from this emotional fulfillment you have that no one can take away from you. It represents this peace and serenity that you found in a situation, regardless of who and what you're surrounded by, and because you feel secure with yourself and everything that you are doing. And it also represents an energy of hopefulness, that no matter how bad a situation is, you have this inner strength and emotional fulfillment that you know it's going to be okay. The Who's could freak out at this moment, and they could have a meltdown, and they could be upset, and they could be disappointed that they can't celebrate Christmas the way they always have. But instead they have hope that everyone's still going to feel connected, everyone's going to get together and do what they can to still make this day as good as it can be. So once the Who starts singing, the Grinch realizes that his plan didn't work, and so he's confused. He's not understanding what went wrong and how this backfired on him.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. He puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was solved.
And this is giving the energy of the Hanged Man in tarot. So the Hanged Man represents an energy in which you walked into a trap because you didn't suspect it. You thought you had all the knowledge and the skills to overcome it, and now here you are on this rope because you were a little bit too stubborn, you were a little bit too overzealous, and you got caught in a trap, and now you're stuck. Now you don't know how to get out. And so it's kind of like a what do you do type of moment. And that's what's going on for the Grinch here. He did everything that he thought was right. He was very calculated with what he did, and yet it still didn't work. And so he has this brief moment where he doesn't know and understand what went wrong and what happened. And so when the hanged man is appearing in your reading, it can either be acting as a warning that what you're doing or what someone else is doing to you is not necessarily going to work out. There's something that is unforeseen that is going to get in the way. But it can also represent an energy in which you have done something, it's went wrong, it hasn't gone to plan, and now you need a shift in your perspective in order to solve this, in order to get out of this. You can't keep thinking the same way, because that plan that got you into this mess isn't going to be the way that you get out of it. And that's what the Grinch realizes.
Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
And that's when he has a shift of perspective, and he realizes that the meaning of Christmas has changed, and his heart begins to grow 3 sizes bigger.
And what happened then? What did Whoville say? That the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
And in this moment where he's having this literal change of heart, this is when he begins a transformation and he shifts into a different person. Because his perspective has shifted, so has he. And so this corresponds with the death card in tarot. And I know this is seen as a scary card, but like we see with the Grinch, this card doesn't always mean literal death. It means a transformation of oneself, of growing into a better version of yourself. And so when death is appearing in your readings, if it's not literal, it's representing this metaphysical change, in which you are growing and maturing as a person, and you are not the same person you once were. This situation, whether it's through a person or an actual situation has taken place, has shifted you where you can never go back to who you once were. That's what the death card can represent. It also can represent an ending to a situation or a cycle that was taking place. But the death card doesn't need to always be a bad thing, because sometimes, like we see with the Grinch, that cycle of being angry, of being grumpy, and not allowing love into his life was the negative cycle. It needed to break, it needed to end. And so majority of the time when the death card appears in your readings, it represents a need to let things go because you've been holding on to them and they're not serving you. And then the last scene that I want to talk about is with this change of heart, with this change of who he is, the Grinch goes to Whoville, returns Christmas, gives everything back, and he starts to celebrate Christmas with the Whos. And so he's starting to make these new memories. And so to me, this represents the energy of the 6 of Cups. And I say this because the 6 of Cups represents an energy in which there's emotional fulfillment from giving to others and also connecting with others. It represents an energy in which memories are being made. And so this is when the Grinch decides to start making better memories, happy memories. He allows himself to give back Christmas to the Whos so they can all celebrate together. And so this brings a level of emotional fulfillment for the Grinch because he's realizing the error of his ways and he's allowing himself to make good and try and fix this situation as best as he can. And so it represents this energy of redemption for him, but it also allows him to have this emotional connection with others, which he never really had before. Yes, he had Max, but besides Max, he had no one else on that mountain, and so he was all alone by himself. And now he's actually interacting with society. Now he's making these memories and allowing himself to enter this energy of more emotional fulfillment. And I think the 6 of Cups really bridges that energy well. And so when the 6 of Cups is appearing in your reading, it represents an opportunity in which you can connect with others or work with others in a way that's going to allow you to actually create a happier time of your life that you can look back and reflect on. And another way to interpret this card when it appears in your readings is a need to reflect on your memories and understand them better and understand a deeper emotional connection with the people in your life. And so I hope this video was fun for you and helped you understand these tarot cards just a little bit better. This is one of my favorite series to make, so definitely check out my whole playlist on this if you haven't already. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I would love to have you a part of this family. I post new videos every single week, and so I can't wait to see you all in my next one. Definitely check me out on other social media. Everything's going to be linked in the description box down below, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I hope you have a good one. Bye.